Cyprus, the country that needed a massive bailout, well, it now says it's going to have to pay a great deal more. The amount is more than the size of the country's entire economy. Luxembourg's finance minister says it can't expect any more help from the EU nor the IMF. Well, the remarks come as Ireland plays host to a meeting of European finance ministers in Dublin. Cyprus there, top of the agenda. A deepening recession is being blamed for the bailout, growing from $23 billion now to $30 billion. Instead of the $9 billion Cyprus was originally asking for, it must come up with $17 billion. Deepening recession is being blamed for the total amount, as we've mentioned, going up from 23 to 30. The Cypriot economy is worth around $22 billion in total.
The 27 finance ministers of Europe are going to need all the inspiration their Dublin hosts can muster during their term in the EU presidency. Not only is the latest bailout in Cyprus seemingly billions short, but the move to place some of the burden on private depositors in failing banks has raised suspicions that Germany may not be prepared to keep financing these southern European bank bailouts. Now, privately, ministers may agree with those who say that the Cyprus rescue was botched. So high up the agenda may be ensuring that future bank rescues, perhaps Slovenia's, will be tidier. Next comes banking union, essentially dealing with bad banks. And another big issue may be whether any bailout countries should be cut any more slack, notably Portugal, after a recent court decision. Earlier, the Spanish Prime Minister gave some clue as to where the discussions may lead.
In Europe, we need to think about whether the European Central Bank should have the same functions and powers as other central banks in the world. This is one of the subjects we have to talk about, just as we will have to talk about the fiscal union and the banking union.
But this economist says no EU institution can prop up the euro if Germany decides it would no longer pick up the bills.
What I want to see, and I suspect an awful lot of other people want to see, is that they are really, really committed to building those institutions. In other words, banking union with all that it entails, and of course regular, consistent, sustainable fiscal flows from the rich north to the less well-endowed south. Otherwise, this thing is not going to hold together. There are so many questions now about its very sustainability.
For Ireland, like Portugal, winning more time to repay EU loans would help, but it's the source of future bank rescue cash that's now a major concern for the finance ministers.